I need a Jamie that's going to say going live at a point in time. That would be pretty. I wish I had that money. Yo, what's up? Oh, it's 3:30-ish in the glorious afternoon here in Phoenix. The air is not warm, not too warm. It's the perfect time of year in Phoenix. And all the snowbirds back. It's great. It's fantastic. Gotta love people, right? Or at least like I say that. How's everyone doing out there? It's been about a week, a little bit more. And I had something on my brain thinking about the current state of affairs. We all kind of know what our system is like, right? You know, there's a lot of inertia, and that's because that's how humans are. So it's not just a function of the physics of our universe where inertia exists, but it's also like a function of the human brain. And people don't want to change because it's way easier to not change than it is to change. Because the way you are, like I've said, you've got that grooved path. You know, you want to keep on keeping on. The needle wants to find the groove in the record. You know, that's how things work. So we accept this, like, currently politically. Here we go. We accept a system in which we think it's okay to go for the lesser of two evils. Because that's the acceptable, that's the path that's been grooved. We accept this system essentially, like all humans, but for us, we allow our choice to be taken from us because we want to fit into these groups. And throughout like human history, there's always been like things that are taking choice from you. But like now, when we have the opportunity, we live in like, everyone's going to be upset. Yes, there's always problems, right? But we live in like, the safest, most advanced time there's ever been. You know, even our poorest of the poor, at least in first world countries, can like eat regularly. You know, that's abnormal compared to, how societies and not even societies, how different populations of animals have lived throughout all of the rest of what would seem to be our history that we can tell. So like, it really doesn't make sense that we so willingly want to give up our choice. But like, civilization before us had all kinds of crazy burdens that they had. Like, they had to worry about not eating. Like, the poorest of the poor then didn't eat and died. Not saying that doesn't happen now, but less so, especially again in the first world places. So, like, why do we accept the status quo? Because it's easy. What are you going to do about it? Well, you can not accept the status quo by not putting down this burden. See, we want to put this burden down. It's so easy to put it down because we have things like political systems and corporations that want to sell you things and religions that want you to follow certain dogmas. All these things want to kind of do your thought process for you. So philosophies, some cults, some entertainment wants to do your thinking for you. It depends on what you consider Scientology. Anyway, all these things want to do your thinking for you. They want to like say, no, got it solved, got you covered. You don't have to worry about thinking that this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong, because we've already figured out exactly what right and wrong, good and bad is, and like that way you don't have to think about these things. The problem is, now that our only burden is like these choices to make, we still have these other things that are like whispering in our ears, like, hey, put the burden down, man. It's okay. We'll do your thinking for you. You just follow along with whatever we say and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. We'll just slide on through. And see, that's part of the problem. We have the lightest burden of any known civilization history. Again, I'm talking, quote, first world people. probably some second world people too. I don't even know what that is considered, but hey, we have the lightest burden. And the lightest burden is the easiest one to put down. Like if you've been moving rocks all day, it's so easy to go, man, I'm just done. I'm tired. I've moved tons of rocks already, and you know what? I'm not moving the last pebble. It's fine. It can be there. I don't need to clean it. It's so much easier to put down the light burden than it is to put the heavy burden down. The heavy burden is something that weighs on you and it pushes you and it makes you do it. The heavy burden forces, when your burden is the fact that you don't know where the meal is coming next, so you have to go hunt and gather, or the burden is we're living in an agrarian society where you don't, like, if the winter comes and early and the crops haven't been picked yet, like, there could go the village. Like, that kind of burden, our burden is just so light. It's all choice. It's like we get to make choices about how we live in society. That's literally what we're down to. Like, we've got the food thing more or less figured out. We're working on the energy thing. It's not perfect yet, but it's, fairly cheap and getting cheaper and easier. And hopefully here soon, it'll be green and cheap and not just cheap. So we're constantly making our lives easier to do, like, to live and work in this, physical realm that we exist in. So our one burden we have left is making choices, and we have to make right choices. Like, that's literally all we have left, and we can't manage to do that right because, like, again, we allow other people, entities, what have you, to do our thinking for us. Like, it's cross-platform, Buddhist, Christian, kind of hits a lot of different levels. Everyone knows you have some burden. This is our burden. Come get pick the burden up with me. Pick the burden up and let's take the burden. So we got to start making decisions, and we need to be remembering to making rational, smart decisions, not decisions that just benefit us currently, right now, but benefit that no matter what, as I think Sam Harris would say, no matter where you would land in the lottery, the genetic / personhood lottery, that you would want to live in that system. Like, that's what we have to be shooting for. So it doesn't, like, that means you might have to make some concessions. You might think something is reprehensible or wrong, but, like, just because you think it's wrong to do something, okay, I'll pick on my ex people, my people in the house, whatever you want to call them. Just because you think it's wrong to smoke weed, or maybe drop acid, take any drug, really. Christians, Mormons, who, depending on who you want to talk to, Christians still, whatever you want to say, whatever you classify yourself as, you know what I mean? But, like, they would say, no, not allowed to do that. Also, Islam would, the Quran kind of is against that. And Judaism, while being a little less, they don't really want you getting high either. Like, no one wants you changing your consciousness. Well, like, it would seem that we kind of have decided as a society that, like, that's your right to do. Like, what gives me the right to tell another human being what they can and can't do with their body? Not much. This also kind of goes down to the pro-life, pro-choice debate. Again, I don't want to see a baby killed, but also it's a woman's body, and if she doesn't want the baby, that is her right not to host that parasite. It can be two things at once. It can be both a human life and a parasite. It is both things. Things are allowed to be multiple different things at once. It's kind of, again, the whole point. So I just want everyone who's listening, paying attention out there, keep this in mind. Let's make our own decisions. Remember, it's important to make that you make your own decisions. Don't outsource. You can always listen to, always listen to the expert's advice, but that doesn't mean that you don't finalize the decision yourself, that you don't come down and say, I have thought through the actions, and this is what I'm doing. Anyway, that about wraps it up. I hope you all are having a great, whatever it is since the last time you heard from me, talked to me, listened to this, whatever it is that you've last interacted with me. Love you. and I hope that you're doing great and that you're gonna help the next person do even better. Okay? For that, peace out. See you guys later.